Cost cutting. Section A, lower COGS. We'll focus on 6 quick ways we can lower your cost of goods sold. This is an extremely important area to really delve into. Why? Both revenue and COGS directly impact your gross profit. And your gross profit pays your overhead and is responsible for generating profit in your business. Today, we want to show you your options for overcoming these 6 factors, and in the process, lower your COGS and increase your profits. 1. Understand margin pricing. Although margin pricing doesn't have a direct impact on COGS, it uses COGS to ensure you're charging your customers the correct price to attain your desired margin, so make sure you're using margin pricing properly. Let's say you sell widgets and to build each widget costs you $100 in materials plus $75 in labor. So, your COGS equals $175 per widget. You decide you want to make 35% profit on each widget you sell. What's your calculation? Don't multiply your $175 cost times 1.35. You must use the inverse to calculate this properly. To find the inverse, you simply take whatever profit margin you're targeting and subtract it from 1. 1 minus 0.35 equals 0.65. So, our new formula for determining our price is to take our $175 COGS and divide it by 0.65, which equals $269.23. To verify this, our new price of $269.23 is the revenue each widget will generate. We now subtract our $175 COGS, and we get our new gross profit of $94.23. We divide $94.23 by $269.23, and we find our gross profit percentage is now 35%, just what we were targeting. 2. Audit your current suppliers and vendors. Review the products and services that you purchase daily, weekly, monthly, or annually. Your profit margin depends upon your ability to receive the highest possible price for your products and services and pay the lowest possible price to your suppliers and vendors. Every participant in the supply chain is looking to increase business and will take unusual, often extraordinary steps to make or save a sale, especially in a poor economy or when competition is fierce. Ask for a discount every time you request an estimate or place an order, and keep asking until you actually place the order. If you do not get a reduction in price, ask for favorable financing terms, prepaid freight, or other freebies. By negotiating, you can maximize your position as a buyer, as your buyers do to you. In many cases, a little research will turn up alternative suppliers of similar products available to you. Determine whether there are any different features between suppliers and whether these differentiating features benefit you or your customers. 3. Confront supplier price increases. Yes, suppliers do raise their prices, often to cover labor costs or their own supplier price increases. These increases typically aren't dramatic, they're usually small incremental increases that most business owners might not notice. 2% to 5% annual increases are common, and many business owners just shrug these off as no big deal, when in reality, these are huge deals when it comes to your bottom line. A mere 5% supplier price increase can impact our company's bottom line by a staggering 15%. Here are a few suggestions to get these increases under control. Obtain competitor quotes. There are always additional suppliers for your most commonly purchased products and services. And believe me, all of them want new customers, and will readily offer big discounts to get your business. If you have built a relationship with your current supplier and you don't want to fracture that relationship, seek new quotes from the competition and just ask your current supplier to match it. They understand you're a business owner and need to keep costs under control. If they truly value your relationship as much as you do, they won't think twice about matching the lower quote. 4. Keep your returns in check. Most products and services include a warranty, and if they fail to produce as advertised, consumers will return them for a refund. It's imperative that you keep a sharp eye on your return rate on a weekly basis. If you begin to see an increase in returns, immediately investigate the reasons for the failure. Did it involve defective parts, or does it appear to be an employee problem, such as a lack of motivation, a lack of training, or perhaps the individuals responsible simply lack the necessary skills to do the job properly the first time? If your investigation reveals the cause for the returns involves defective parts, don't simply replace them and shrug it off as a normal part of doing business. Send the defective parts back to the wholesaler or manufacturer and demand a credit. If the problem persists, investigate alternate suppliers. Be sure you look for a proven track record of product reliability before choosing another supplier. However, if your investigation reveals the problem is indeed employee-related, make sure the training you provide is sufficient and updated. 5. Reduce scrap. Scrap has the same cost impact as returns. It increases your material, labor, and opportunity costs. The way you deal with this is similar to returns. Begin by investigating the reasons for the failure. Was the scrap produced due to defective tools or processes? Did defective parts play a role, or is it a lack of training or skill on the part of the employee? If you find the problem to be defective tools or parts, seek immediate compensation from the supplier. If this situation continues, investigate alternate suppliers. If it turns out to be an employee problem, it may only require additional on-the-job training. But don't stop there. Determine if the scrap produced can be recycled or reworked. And always seek out your employees' feedback and suggestions regarding ways they might suggest eliminating scrap. They're on the front line day in and day out. You can bet they have specific and innovative ways your scrap could be dealt with. 6. Limit excess inventory. At times, businesses may overproduce in anticipation of increased sales, and if those sales fail to materialize, you end up with excess inventory. Often, excess inventory is stored randomly wherever room happens to be available. Begin by investigating all storage areas and creating an inventory of what's currently available. Clean out everything that is outdated or obsolete. If you have excess inventory that you have no use for in the near term, determine what can either be repurposed or sold. Try to find some way to turn all excess inventory into revenue for your business. You may also want to install an inventory management system. Or perhaps you can switch to a just-in-time (JIT) production system. Requiring suppliers to make frequent deliveries eliminates excess inventory and carrying costs. So, to recap, these are 6 ways to reduce your COGS. 1. Understand margin pricing. 2. Audit your current suppliers and vendors. 3. Confront supplier price increases. 4. Keep your returns in check. 5. Reduce scrap. 6. Limit excess inventory. The question is now before you: where will you begin to reduce your COGS? Section B. Lower overhead costs. We'll focus on multiple ways you can lower your overhead costs. Begin by setting aside a 2-hour block of time, find a quiet spot, and very carefully review the following documents: your bank statements, your credit card statements, and your business invoices. You want to go through these line item by line item and carefully scrutinize each charge. As you review each charge, follow this basic rule. If a charge doesn't help you to get a new customer or to keep an existing customer, eliminate it. 10 ways to lower your overhead costs. You'll see that there are a lot of options even inside these 10 areas. 1. First, pay extremely close attention to the charges on your credit card statements. I've seen business owners discover they have been paying for years on things they couldn't even identify. 2. Next, audit your current suppliers and vendors for the products and services you purchase daily, weekly, monthly, or annually. Begin with your business suppliers and vendors. Consider a women's hair salon. They may buy $10,000 per month of Clairol hair products. Do you think suppliers for TRESemmé, Garnier, Nexus, or L'Oreal might offer a 10% or 20% discount just to get your business? That's a savings to you of $1,000 to $2,000 per month. How many suppliers does an auto repair shop have? Hundreds. Do you think the competitors of their current suppliers might be willing to offer substantial discounts to get their business? B. Audit your internet provider. If you contact your internet provider and tell them you're thinking of switching services to one of their competitors, they'll likely offer you a 10 to 20% reduction in your monthly rate. C. Evaluate your telephone rates. Phone rates have dropped substantially over the last several years, and you may be able to save 25 to 50% instantly. If your business requires calling overseas, check into a service where you pay a flat rate every month and you can call anywhere in the world for free and talk as long as you want. D. Look over your invoices for your office supplies. This is an expense most business owners never think about. There's a good chance if you check out the competitors you can get substantially lower pricing. E. Audit your janitorial services. Instead of paying a full-service professional janitorial company, consider hiring a college student who would love night work so they can attend school during the day. A janitorial company typically pays the person performing the service just 30% of the amount they charge you. The remaining 70% goes to cover their overhead, such as their office staff, lease, vehicles, as well as their marketing and advertising. Pay that college student that same 30% and you pocket the rest. F. Landscaping is another area to scrutinize. Similar in nature to janitorial services, landscaping services only pay their landscapers around 30% of the money you pay them. Contract this service out yourself and save big time. When was the last time you audited your insurance, and not just your building and liability insurance? Be sure to audit your vehicle insurance as well, including your personal auto. What about health insurance, life insurance, and workers' comp? Insurance today is a tremendously cutthroat environment, and companies will discount to the bone to get your business. G. Audit your garbage pickup. H. Don't overlook repair and maintenance, especially if you only use these services on an as-needed basis. Check to see if there are preventive maintenance agreements available for your industry or profession. Once you audit all these vendors and providers and secure the lowest pricing for each, here are some additional tactics to save you even more. 3. Ask for extended payment terms. If the provider asks for payment on delivery, inquire if they will give you terms, either 30 or 60 days. This should be a major consideration when negotiating a change in vendors. To obtain additional discounted pricing, offer long-term commitments coupled with quick payments. Definitely insist on this concession in the event you can't negotiate extended payment terms. 4. Offer to negotiate long-term supply agreements. This is where you offer to use a supplier exclusively for a specific period of time in return for a fixed lower price and better terms. The longer time frame you offer, the better the terms you should expect to receive. If you receive a deeply discounted price by offering most or all the above, you would be well advised to lock in that discounted rate for as long as you can. 5. If you tend to keep all your professional services in-house, consider the possibility of outsourcing those services moving forward. The most common ones to consider are accounting, bookkeeping, IT, and maintenance and repair. If none of these require someone full-time, outsourcing can offer substantial savings. There are highly qualified professionals in places like India, Taiwan, and the Philippines who you can hire for a fraction of the cost of an employee in a Western country. The Philippines boasts a 95.6% literacy rate and has a track record of exporting virtual assistants across the world. Taiwan specializes in programming and databases. And India has a world-class IT infrastructure. Another major advantage to outsourcing involves the classification of the worker. When you outsource, you can designate the personnel handling the work as contractors versus employees. This can lead to huge savings for your business. 6. One major way to cut costs that has never failed is to offer your employees the opportunity to participate in a cost reduction program. Truth be told, your employees know how to reduce or even eliminate substantial costs in literally every phase of their job. And to ensure the success of this type of program, bonus them a percentage of the first year savings. Just be sure you take each submission seriously and notify the employees of the outcome. If they suspect this program is lip service only, the entire program will grind to a halt. 7. If possible, eliminate overtime. Overtime is okay if needed to catch up with demand, but if overtime is now being required every week, consider hiring an additional employee and avoid paying time and a half. 8. You might also consider refinancing your debt to lower your payments. One recent business owner found they had 4 separate loans with a total outstanding balance of $10,000. They were currently paying around $700 per month in principal and interest. They found they could refinance the debt at a much lower interest rate with a 3-year payment below $300 per month. And speaking of interest, review your credit card processor. Compare their discount rates with other vendors and negotiate the best rates and services. Be especially careful on hidden fees and charges that add up to substantial differences between vendors. 9. Does your business require a significant amount of travel? Look to see if you can replace travel with video conferencing. With current technology, you can turn on your webcam and it's not much different than sitting directly across the table from your customer. 10. Another area to look over is your compensation model. If your business delivers a specific result, then set up a results-based compensation model. This works unbelievably well provided the sales goals are communicated, specific, realistic, and attainable. I've just showed you 10 ways to lower your overhead costs. In reality, with the detail and examples I provided, there are many more than 10. Why not start today and keep more money in your pocket?